Hello everyone, this is Ravin from瑞順Company. Today I will introduce our automatic softener valves F63C product. This product is our classic water treatment softener valves. Under 3 bar pressure drop, its flow rate can reach 4 cubic meter per hour. This is a瑞順Foster automatically softener valves with LED colorful display screens. It can be used in the residential softener systems, boiler water softener systems, and RO pre-treatment systems. Compared with the traditional piston structure valves, these valves adopt the unique ceramic structures. That is, the control valves is based on the principle of hermetic head face. There are 2 discs inside the valves. We call it the fixed disc and the moving disc. As you can see, there are several through holes and blind holes on the disc. For example, different holes are connected with a different port, like the outlet, drawing port, blind port. So, when rotating the ceramic moving disc, it will change the water passage and then to realize the different functions like the service, backwash, and blind jaw, different functions. Here is the principal introduction videos you can refer.
System working principle. When system is in service state, the symbol of service state lights. At this moment, raw water flows into control valve through water inlet, from top of valve car to valve body, and through top strainer to tank. Then down through resin layers to be softened water. Through bottom strainer to return to rise the pipe and valve car, finally flow out from water outlet. When service flow rate reduces to 0, the system starts to regenerate. The motor controlled by main control board drives the big gear to rotate, and also drives moving disc, which is fixed with shaft. With the change of relative angles of moving disc and fixed disc, the flow channel has been changed. When arrives at backwash state, the symbol of backwash state lights. Raw water flows into control valve through water inlet, from top of valve car through rise pipe to the bottom of tank, then through bottom strainer to end into tank. Under the influence of water flow, the rising layers has been loosened. The broken resin or dirt flow out from drain outlet. When backwash time reduces to 0, then it is over. Motor controlled by main control board rotates, which makes the change of relevant angles of moving disc and fixed disc. So the flow channel has been changed again. When arrives at a brine and slow resin state, the symbol lights. Raw water flows into control valve through water inlet, pass valve car to inject inlet, flow quickly to inject outlet, which produces under pressure, so that the brine is sucked from brine tank through brine line connector to valve, then to tank. The brine is down through resin layer, through bottom strainer to riser pipe, then upward to valve body, valve core, finally flow out from drain outlet. After brine sucked, raw water still flow into control valve from inlet, through valve core, injected to tank, down through resin layers and the bottom strainer, upward riser pipe to valve core, then flow out from drain outlet. When brine and slow release time reduces to 0, motor controlled by main control board rotate, which makes the change of relative angles on moving disk and fixed disk. So the flow channels has been changed. When arrives at the brine refill state, the symbol lights. Raw water flows into control valve through water inlet. Some parts pass valve core to inject outlet. Then enter into brine tank through brine line connector. The other part pass injector, valve body and valve core, then flow out from drain outlet. When brine refill time reduces to 0, motor controlled by main control board rotates, which makes the change of relative angles on move disk and fixed disk. So the flow channels has been changed. When arrives at a faster ring state, the symbol lights. Raw water flows into control valve through water inlet, from the top of valve core to valve body, through top strainer to tank. Then pass bottom strainer to riser pipe, finally through valve core. The residual brine is discharged from drain outlet. When fast rinse reduces to 0, it is over. The system enters into service state.
So after you seeing the video, you already know our principles of the valves. So what's the advantage for this kind of structures? Firstly, the Röntgen valve is made of aluminum ceramic, and the moving disc is centered at high temperature of 1680 centigrade. It has the advantage of high hardness, high flatness, and good corrosion resistance and wear resistance. The fixed disc adopts the high-strength synthetic materials. Therefore, Röntgen valves is resistant to weak acid and alkaline, and it can be used in the anion and the cation systems. Secondly, because the moving disc and the fixed disc are closely matched with each other and not easily deformed. So when the moving disc rotated, it can act like scrapers, and the impurity on the surface will be scraped off during the rotation. And also the impurities is not easily get caught between these two discs. So these structures can be applied to water with more impurities. Actually, in the market, our Röntgen valves has been actually in the market. We find some customers use our valves for more than 10 years. As you can see, the valves adopt the LED display screens. So each parameter and the status will display on the screen one by one. For this valve, it has 5 status like the service, backwash, brine draw and slow rinse, and brine refill, and this faster rinse status. As you can see, this is button locked icons. When there's no operation within 1 minute, the valve will be locked. The button will be locked. So firstly, you need to unlock the button. You need to press the up and down buttons at the same time for 5 seconds. and then it will be unlocked. After unlocked, then you can operate the valves manually. As you can see, when the valve is in the service status, the strip will be flash. That means the valve is in service. When the valve goes to the regeneration status, like the backwash, brine draw, and the brine refill status, the strip will be light off. This is a tyne type softener valve, and after you unlock the button, press the first button, and then you go to the setting modus. So you can check the different parameters by pressing the up or down buttons. As you can see, this is the current time. So the current time is related to the regeneration times, so you need to set the time correctly. Also, for our valves, if the power off for more than 3 days, the valve will remind you to reset the current time. But for other parameters, you do not need to set. Okay, this is the regeneration parameters, regeneration time parameters. Our factory default is 2 a.m. to 2 a.m. But you can set, if you want to set a different regeneration time, you can press the first button, and then you can set what time you need. If you do not want to set, then press the second button to exit. This is service days. This is our tyne type softener valves, so you need to set the service days. For example, now the valve is service days is 3 days. So after 3 days, it will go to the regeneration. For the service days, it will be counting down when the valve's in the service status. So when it counting down to 100, that means then the valve will go to the regeneration when the time reaches the regeneration time. Also, for our valves, we also have the meter type of valves, F63C3 is a meter type softener valves. For the meter type softener valves, you need to set the water capacities, and the water capacity will also be counting down and show on the display screen. And this is a backwash times. So now our factory default is 10 minutes. So you can set if you need. And this is a brine draw and slow rinse times. You also can set by yourself based on your situation. And this is brine refill times. And this is faster. And this is faster rinse times. This is signal output models. We have two kinds of signal output models, B01 and B02. The signal output models is related to the device it's related to how you connect with the external device and control the external device. For example, if you want to connect our valves with a pump or with ball valves, you need to connect this external device with our circuit board, and then you need to set different signal output modes. For the B, we have two modes, B01 and B02. For the B01, that means in the service status there's no signal, but when the valve go to the regeneration cycle, like the backwash, brine draw, and the stir rinse, and other status, then it has signals. For the B02, it means when the valve in the status, there's no signal. For example, when the valve in the service, there's no signal. But when the valve motors are running, when the valve go to the backwash status, during the motor running, there are the signals. Okay, and this is all parameters for the time type softener valves. In previous, I introduced the time type softener valves F63C1. Now I will introduce the parameters for the meter type softener valves. For the meter type softener valves, as you can see, it will show the remain water capacities on the display screens when the valve is in the service. The remain water capacity will be counting dumps. Also, you need when the button is locked, you also need to unlock the button firstly. For the meter type softener valves, you need to set the water capacity that you need. For example, we set 10 cubic meters. So after 10 cubic meters, after trading 10 cubic meters, the softener will go to the regenerations. And for the meter type of softener valves, it also has a different unit you can choose, like cubic meter, or you can set liter or set gallon. You have 3 different units you can choose. Also, for the meter type softener valves, it has different control mode from A01 to A04. For A01, it means the meter delayed type. That means when the remaining water drops to 0, the valve will not start regeneration until the time reaches the regeneration time. For A02, it means the meter immediately type. That means when the remaining water capacity drops to 0, the valve will directly go to the regeneration. A03 is similar as the A01. It also the meter delayed type, but it is an intelligent type. That means after you input the water hardness, resin volume, and the regeneration factors, it will directly calculate the total water capacity by systems. No, the users do not need to input by himself. For the A04, it is similar like A02. It is a meter in. It is also meter immediately type, but A04 is an intelligent type. That means after you input the resin volume, water hardness, and regeneration factors, it will automatically calculate the water capacity by itself. So for the meter type softener valves, it has more parameters than the time type softener valves, but the operation is similar. And this is our softener injectors. As you can see, our standard type is a green color, is number 9 injectors. Actually, we have from number 1 to number 10 different injectors for optionals. So the users can choose the different injectors to match different tank. As you know, our softener valves is just a part of complete softener systems. The complete softener system has other external devices like the water pump, ball valve, and so on. So you need to use our valves to control other external devices. So after you open the front cover, and you will see our main board inside. As you can see, this is the main board of our valves. There are different ports, and the different port can connect with a different device. For example, this is a remote handling connectors. This connector can connect with a PLC online monitoring device, and this external device will send the signal to the device and control the device, our valves, to start regeneration. This is signal output connectors. These connectors usually is connected with water pump, ball valve, and our valves can control this external device to start or stop working. Also, there's the switch on the main board. The switch function is to make the valve can realize to be regeneration by hours. For the time type of softener valves, sometimes the users want to make the valve can regenerate by hours. So then you can dialog the switch here and to make the time type softener valves to start regeneration by hours. Except the valve, we also provide other spare parts like the top and the bottom strainers. We also have the bypass valves for our softener valves. So you can use our bypass valves to connect with our valves to realize the bypassing functions. Actually, for our softener valves, we have from 2 cubic meter per hour to 50 cubic meter per hour. So if you want to know more and to get more information, you can go to our website to check. Thanks.